Xavian.
It is 1:03 a.m. First ever vlog, if you will. Don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It is 1:03 here in Toronto. Black Friday starting. I'm about to triple my ad spend, and we'll see what happens throughout the day. Last Black Friday, one of the biggest mistakes I made was not spending enough. I made a note to myself last Black Friday to start today's budget at 3 to 5x the daily spend. So yesterday we spent $12,000 yesterday. Today's spend starting off for Black Friday is gonna be about $35,000. The goal is to do over $100,000 in a day. Ideally more. Ideally we want search scale budgets up based off performance, and ideally get to 125 to 150. Will we hit that? I have no clue. That's simply the goal. Now there's other constraints like inventory and things like that that we plan for in advance. We also had our VIP and email list launch a week, 2 weeks ago. So we already had some couple big spikes. But in general, on Black Friday, the buying intent is still 5 times, 10 times what it is throughout the Black Friday week previously leading up to it. So we'll see how today goes. But 35,000 a day is definitely a record for me. So we'll see what happens.
Now, just exactly actually 12 p.m. on the store. We're at 46,000 for the day. Margin isn't as good as I'd like it to be, so I sort of scaled down some of the budgets. A couple of campaigns I increased. We're pacing around where we want to. I still think we'll pass 100K today. For the next couple hours, we're just gonna be chilling, probably play a bit of FIFA, and then we're gonna do a live stream, a live Q&A, answering questions, teaching a little bit, talking Black Friday and sort of scaling budgets within my community. And I also decided to open up to the public because why not? And so we'll see how that goes in a couple hours. I'll bring you into it, probably answer some good questions, and hopefully you guys could learn a few things. So 3:15, we just crossed over 62,000 for the day. About to start the live Q&A here. I'm excited to see what kind of questions people have. We got 14 people in the waiting room. Don't know if the turnout's going to be more or less than this, but I'm excited to answer some questions and hopefully teach a few things. And then, anyway, you'll see clips of this as we go through this, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two as well.
The process to actually finding that UGC that can correctly match exactly what concept you want to do in that scenario.
Great question. There's two stages. The initial stage, let's assume you're just launching, or maybe you'll test a few ads, but you're still in the initial stages of not scaling yet and in testing. The first step is to just go find competitors and reverse engineer them, right? Ideally for the same product, but in general, just in the same niche. You want to go take their ad on one side of your computer screen, you have their ad. On the other side of the computer screen, you have a blank Google Doc, and you're rewriting their ad on your side, line by line, so you figure out what their exact structure of their ad is, and then you're rewriting each line for yourself, for your own ad, and for your own product, etc., for your own research that you did. That's the easiest thing to do to start. You take the competitors' ads that you know are working, you reverse engineer that, translate it to your own. Issue is, if you're doing less than 100,000 or 200,000 a month in revenue, it's because you get stuck in the loop of just doing that over and over and over again, and then wondering why you can't scale. But it's because you keep ripping your competitors and keep reiterating on the same concepts. Like, that's why you can't scale, because you have the ads that are working, you continue replicating them, you continue iterating on the same ads from the same people, and you don't actually make the jump to creating your own content and your own briefs. So stage one is to do that, and that will get you pretty far. But if you want to continue scaling, get consistent results, then you have to make the switch to coming up with your own ideas. This is why brands hire creative strategists, right? Somebody who can come in, think, come up with ideas on their own, come up with new angles that haven't been tested in the market, that your competitors aren't doing, etc. And it's a skill that gets developed over time, but pretty much you gotta get creative and start creating your own concepts around the desired angles that you know are currently working. So stage one, you're reverse engineering competitors. Stage two, you're doing it yourself. You're coming up with new, fresh ideas that competitors and other people in the market aren't doing. And that may mean doing research in other niches, completely different products, completely different categories, and just taking ideas from what you see there and creating it for your own, in your niche, in your product, etc.
We started off with ABOs, but we're kind of moving toward the CBOs now. And we feel like we have too many campaigns. And like, I know some companies only have like one AC, like.
In general, like, to put into perspective, I used to have a ton of campaigns. I used to test ABO, have a scaling campaign. Even like 4 times throughout this year, I tested ABO versus CBO like everybody else, just to figure out, well, okay, what is the best thing, right? You hear things from one side, other people say cost caps, other people say big caps. So, you know, if you're ever in doubt, just say fuck it and test it, right? Say fuck it, test it, see what happens. Every single time I've tested it, the ROAS has been better testing CBO, letting Facebook spend where it wants to. Now, with that being said, I have a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his brand or whatever, but anyway, it's a good friend of mine. He does about 30 million a year. One campaign, multiple products in the same campaign, one market. Like, that's it, right? And then he has a friend who passes the information. He learns from this guy, then he passes it on to me. And luckily, I know this guy, so I can get some decent information. They do 150 million a year, one campaign, 3 ad sets. Like, it's very, very consolidated. Now, you don't want to just go kill stuff that's working. My recommendation would be to consolidate to one campaign. It's easier to manage. What you should find after a couple of weeks of running the one campaign too is your CPMs should drop as it optimizes. My CPMs in the US consistently, even right now during Black Friday, are only up to $15. Like, it's not that bad. And year round, about $9 to $10 just US, which is pretty solid. And I think a lot of it has to do with that data aggregation being in just the one campaign. So the way to transition, the safest way to transition is whatever's currently working, leave it running. Have that one campaign next to it. Launch all your creatives in there. And then over time, because you're not launching any new creatives or adding new ads or whatever into these other existing campaigns, those will slowly die out. As you scale down the budgets and turn them off, sooner or later, you'll be left with the one campaign with all your ad testing in there. That's the safest way to do it. You can also just rip the Band-Aid off and just say, fuck it, turn it off. I mean, probably not today because it's Black Friday. I'd not recommend doing that today. But you could just turn the other ones off and just go straight to one campaign. Typically, that's what I do just because I'm impatient and I just want it to, just fix it. But I would not recommend that. If you do that, I take no responsibility. I'm doing a general store in the Netherlands and I have 3 products with all potential to brand it. Should I focus on one and brand it or keep running the 3 products with general? There's a big misconception that dropshipping can't be a brand. Dropshipping is how you fulfill products. Some of the biggest brands I know dropship. It's just a way of fulfilling orders. You do not need to hold inventory. You don't need to go to 3PL. The only reason to go to 3PL would be if the cost savings are worth it. In most cases, it is. But if the cost savings are worth it, and you really want to down the customer experience because you're a subscription-based product or something along those lines. However, if I could have stayed dropshipping with my current brand, I would have. The cash flow is so much better. You don't have to buy inventory. Your money isn't stuck in inventory. It's so much better if you could just stick to dropshipping. So my recommendation would be, 1, separate dropshipping from building a brand. You can have a brand that dropships. Not sure if you mentioned this, but would you put multiple angles into the same CBO? Yes, absolutely. Would you separate each angle? No. Like, guys, media buying's dead. Media buying is dead. Every single person I talk to when I ask about CBO or ABO, they just like giggle. They're like, why are you even asking this question? It's just one CBO, one ad set, and just launch ads in there. And that's it. If it gets spend, it's a winner. If it doesn't, kill it and launch more ads. That's literally all you need. That's it. Get spend, winner. Doesn't get spend, kill it, launch more ads. That's it. When it gets spend and it has a bad CPA, still a winner. Like, it's because it's getting spent, it's bringing in your top of funnel traffic. Then you just have to figure out how to optimize that and improve it. Now, if you're really getting a lot of spend and it's killing it, well, then maybe, optimize it, kill it, see what happens. But more and more, if it gets spend, I leave it running and it's a winner. If it doesn't get spend, kill it, launch more ads next week. That is it. One CBO, one ad set, launch ads in there. Or if you don't want to launch them on the ad level, one CBO, one ad set per concept, one flex ad in each ad set, and you just launch multiple ad sets. Just depends on how you want to optimize or manage it. I copied a product that I know works, but it doesn't work for me. I spent about $200 with no conversions. I even copied the ads from carriers. My website and brand are actually really good though. You guys mentioned Alex CEO. He told me once when he launches products, he's testing at least 100 to 500 ads on a product launch. So if you spend $200 and you copy 2 ads from a competitor and launch and then expect it to work, it's not going to work. The competitors who are outscaling you, they're simply testing more. That's it. They're simply testing more and they're doing more and they're moving faster with it. Okay? So if you copied ads and everything else is very good and it's not working, well, because you're copying exactly what they have. Why would you beat them? They have all the ad spend. Their ads are optimized. Their website's optimized. Their pixels optimized. Their ad account's optimized. Why would it work for you? It's not going to. You take what's working. You see where you can improve it. That's the key. You beat their offer. You beat their landing page. And you beat their ads. You take what's working for them. You create new ads. And you improve it. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. No worries. Have a good rest of your Black Friday. And I'll talk to all you guys soon. Adios. Live stream just ended. It was very fun. Thank you everyone who did show up. Obviously, you'll watch this video afterwards. Next time you follow me on Instagram, I do some of those every now and then. 6:15 p.m. right now. checking the ads now and probably one last time at 9 p.m. Although I try to make my biggest like last surfing of the budgets now. 9 p.m. gets a little too close to midnight where you really can't catch up on the budget or pace properly after that. Margin's looking great. We're at 27% margin now, up from, I think earlier today we're like 12%. It kept climbing throughout the day. A couple more emails went out, things like that. We're currently at 88,000 USD for the day. And I think based off the margin, I have a lot of room to push it. So we'll see where we end up. Maybe we do go for the 125. Once again, maybe 150. But we'll see. Gonna finish this up, scale some ads, go get dinner, and then we'll see from there. So it's 1 a.m. Black Friday just finished. Sales. Hopefully it focuses here. We finished just over 137. Not including Amazon. With Amazon, we did another 5,000, so we just over 140. There's a refresh for all you people who think it's expect element. There you go. Biggest thing this Black Friday was going in with a clear target. That ended up working very well. Sadly, on one of our campaigns, there was a glitch where it said there was no URL in the ad, even though the campaign's been live for months, and they turned that off the last couple of hours. Probably would have pushed us to the 150, but can't complain. This was my first 100K day. So although we didn't hit the 150, sadly because of the glitch, we did cross well over 100, so it feels good. This has been about 6 years in my e-commerce journey, if you will. First 3 years, I just consistently lost all my money for 3 years straight. Then 3 years into this brand specifically to get to this point. So you're going to see these big numbers from me, from other people on Twitter, etc. But take it with a grain of salt. You don't see the back end work that goes into it. Yes, there's people who get quick wins and quick results, but 98% of the time, that's simply not the case. So if you're watching this, just please take it as motivation. It's not me trying to flex on you. Hopefully you learned a couple things from the call and Q&As I did previously in the video. So hopefully you can take this, apply it to your own business, and next Black Friday, crush it.